Lesson 8-3, Multiplying Binomials. Alright, so first, what is a binomial? We know like a monomial is something like this. If we add 2 or 3 more monomials, we have a polynomial, specifically a trinomial. A binomial is just 2 monomials. So, for example, 6x plus 2x squared. This is our binomial. What does it mean to say the product of 2 binomials? Well, if this was one binomial, in parentheses, and we were multiplying it by another binomial, that product is what we're trying to find. So 2 binomials multiplied together. That's how we're going to learn to solve today. All right, there are several ways to find the product of something like this. These are 2 binomials being multiplied together because they're right next to each other. The first method we're going to learn is using the distributive property. So the distributive property, a times b plus c, when we do this, we take a and we multiply it to everything in the inside of the grouping symbols. Well, if you look on the outside, we have 2 things being multiplied to 2 more things in the inside of a grouping symbol. So you are going to take one term at a time, multiply it by everything inside, and then add or subtract. Take the second term, multiply it by everything in the inside of the second grouping symbol. Let me show you what that might look like. All right, 2x plus 4. The first binomial is the one I'm going to break apart. I'm going to start with just the 2x. 2x is going to be multiplied to the 3x minus 7, or that second binomial. Then I'm going to add, take the second part, 4, and that's going to be multiplied by the second binomial. Now I just need to do the distributing. 2x times 3x is 2 times 3 is 6. X times x is x squared. 2x, so I did that one. 2x times a negative 7 is a negative 14x. Moving on. 4 times 3x, positive 12x. 4 times negative 7, negative 28. Now I'm going to combine like terms. This is the only monomial with an x squared, 6x squared. I can do negative 14x plus 12x, and I get negative 2x. And then my negative 28 is the only constant. Here is my final answer. When you multiply 2 binomials, you get a trinomial. The second method you can use to multiply 2 binomials is to use a table. However, this is a method that isn't taught very often, and you will not be using it in high school. So therefore, I'm going to make this method optional. If you would like to learn it, go ahead, please do so. Read the book example and find out how they use this Punnett square to multiply. However, the method I would like you to learn and use most often is called the FOIL method. FOIL is an acronym. Each letter stands for something. If I have a binomial and I'm multiplying it by another binomial, we can use the FOIL method. Here's what the letters stand for. First terms. O is for outside terms. I is for inside terms. And L is for last terms. This is a shortcut that will become such a habit, the FOIL method will work really well for you. Okay, here we're going to multiply. In the last example I showed you the distributive method. Here's the FOIL method. First, I need to take my first terms. That would be the 2x and the x, the first terms in each binomial. Multiply them. 2x times x is 2x squared. All right? Next step, take the outside terms. That would be your 2x and your 4. They're on the outside, and you're multiplying them. 2x plus 4 is a positive 8x. Next step, take your inside terms. They're the ones closest together. They're inside the whole problem. That's 3 times x, positive 3x. Last step, take the last terms. That is your 3 and your 4, positive 12. If you do this order, you will always correctly multiply your binomials. Combine like terms. This is the only part we need to combine are the x's. 8 plus 3 is 11x. Our plus 12 stays, and our 2x squared. There's our trinomial. That's the answer to our 2 binomials multiplied. Let's do another example. We can do the example right here. So here's our 2 binomials. First terms, 5x times 2x, 10x squared. Outer terms, 5x times 1 plus 5x. Inside, negative 3 times 2x, negative 6x. Last, negative 3, positive 1, negative 3. Combine like terms, 10x squared, 5 minus 6 is negative x. Oops. 10x squared minus x minus 3. Final answer. I'll do one more for you. First, 3x times x, 3x squared. Outside, 3x times 2, plus 6x. Inside, negative 4 times x, negative 4x. Last, negative 4 times 2, negative 8. Combine like terms. The more problems you do, the easier this will be, and you'll become very fast at it. So that is the FOIL method. So there's 3 methods: distributive property, the table property, which I'm going to leave optional, up to you, and the FOIL method, which I prefer you use. All right, this is kind of a long problem. It's applying the multiplication of binomials. I'll show you how. We are going to find the surface area for this cylinder. That formula is given right here. So it's 2 times the area of the circle plus 2 times pi times radius times height, which gives us the remaining surface area. We're going to add those together. So here we go. First, 2 pi times the radius squared. Here's the radius, x plus 1. X plus 1, and that's going to be squared. We're going to add that to 2 times pi times the radius, which is x plus 1, times the height, which got cut off. Let me look at my book. It's x plus 4. So 2 pi times the radius times height. All right, here we go. Lots of solving. X plus 1 squared looks like this. X plus 1 times x plus 1. And the second half, I'll just rewrite x plus 1 times x plus 4. So we have 2 sets of binomials being multiplied. Change my color. All right, first I'm going to ignore the 2 pi. That's going to hang out. I'm going to FOIL. First terms, x squared. Outside is 1x. Inside is 1x. I'm going to combine that for 2x. I just skipped that simplifying step. And last terms, 1 times 1 plus 1 plus 2 pi. Again, first terms, x squared. Outside, 4x. Inside, 1x. That equals 5x. Last terms, 1 times 4, 4. Now, we have 2 pi times something plus 2 pi times something. That's the same thing as 2 pi times all of this. Now I can combine like terms. X squared plus x squared, 2x squared. 2x plus 5x plus 7x. 1 plus 4 is 5. And let's see if they want us to go any further than that. Yes. Okay, so now 2 pi, this is a monomial being multiplied by a trinomial. So this is going to be multiplied to every single part. 2 pi times 2x is 4 pi x plus 2 pi times 7x, 14 pi x, and 2 pi times 5 is 10 pi. Final answer. Oh, this is an x squared. There we go. Here's our final answer, and I believe that matches. If we go up, it matches answer C. All right, lots of steps, lots of binomials being multiplied. All right, finally, the last example of this lesson, you can use the FOIL method when you multiply two binomials. However, it is not helpful when you're multiplying a trinomial and a binomial. Trinomial has 3 terms, binomial has 2. In this case, you use vertical method to distribute each term. Let me show you what I mean. So here I have a trinomial being multiplied to a binomial. We can't use the FOIL method. Instead, we're going to arrange the polynomials vertically as shown. So 3x squared plus x minus 5 is being multiplied to 2x minus 7. It's kind of like a long multiplication problem. First, I'm going to multiply negative 7. I'm going to highlight that instead. First, I'm going to multiply negative 7 to each part in the top. Negative 7 times negative 5 is 35. Negative 7 times positive x is negative 7x. I did a plus because 35 was positive. Negative 7 times 3x squared is negative 21x squared. Now I need to go to the 2x. Change color. Now, just like when you multiply, you do a placeholder. I'm not going to use x because I don't want to confuse myself with my problem. So I'm just going to start my answer, or my multiplying right here. 2x times negative 5 is negative 10x. 2x times x is positive 2x squared. And 2x times 3x squared is 6x to the third power. Now I'm just going to add this up. I have 6x to the third. Negative 21x squared plus 2 is negative 19x squared. Negative 7x plus negative 10x is negative 17x. And then plus 35. My final answer is 6x cubed minus 19x squared minus 17x plus 35. So line up vertically and multiply. That ends this lesson. Here's your lesson check 1 through 4. Take your time. These are 2 where you can use your FOIL method. Here you need to arrange vertically. And then this would be a word problem where you're applying what you know. Good luck.